you're going in knowing, okay, I'm the guy, I'm the head coach. This is my program.
Right. I think the biggest difference is the coaching staff. We were able to connect and kind of understand what the journey is going to look like together now that we can start at point A and where we want to take this program. So that was great. And then also just getting a summer to work with our newcomers really laid the foundation for the season. And so just thankful that we've been given that opportunity to do so. But really looking forward to it this year.
You know, there's 4 straight NCAA tournament appearances. Just knowing what you've got with this group, what's it going to take to get to number 5?
Yeah, I think the sooner we can get to consistency, the effort's there. The intensity has its moments, ups and downs, and that's when you have a lot of new, I think that's just part of the growing process. So I think the sooner our coaching staff can get our players to find that consistency, I think we'll surprise a lot of people this year.
What would be kind of the biggest question for you as a head coach, just going into this season, knowing what you've got with this group, with this coaching staff? What's kind of the biggest question?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of talented freshmen, and they're going to provide us with depth, but they're also going to be called upon to provide some really, really good minutes, and in some cases, win us some games. They're going to have to be ready for that moment, and it's our job to get them ready. But when you do have a young team and you're trying to put together, 7 returners with 6 freshmen, you're going to have some ups and downs. I got to remind myself and our coaching staff that it's the journey, and let's make sure that we're continuing to get better each and every week because, the Big 12 schedule is a gauntlet. There are no nights off. Every team brings it, and we've got to match that intensity night in, night out.
What stands out to you about this group of newcomers? Obviously, you've got this group of, I think it's 4 freshmen, plus you've got a couple of transfers.
Yeah.
You've got Lonnie, you've got, I can't think
Cameron
of
Mafua, yep.
Yes, Cameron. Just what stands out to you about this group?
I think just their willingness to be coachable. I mean, it sounds crazy, but, there are a lot of people who just, they don't take on coaching or hard coaching very well. They don't adapt. Our players have been coachable from day one. They make adjustments pretty quickly, and that allows us to grow. You're never going to be perfect. We want to strive for excellence, but them being coachable and meeting us halfway allows us that growth in quick time. I kept telling people we've grown over the last 2 weeks in such a rapid pace that I'm eager and excited to get back to see what the next 2 weeks look like before we kick off the regular season.
Coach, you talked a little bit about on the podium the challenge of kind of taking over into a season.
Yeah.
What did you learn about yourself through that process and just about yourself as a head coach?
Yeah, I think, I've always been the type of person that whatever's assigned to me, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability, put my head down and just grind it through. I found out that, there isn't much that can rattle me, good and bad. I just kind of stayed steady and tried to make sure that our players were the most important part of the equation. And I think we fulfilled that, and we made sure that we kept things as smooth and consistent as possible, and I think that allowed us to have the year we did. Didn't end the way we wanted to, and that kind of left a bitter taste in our mouth because of the group that we graduated. But at the end of the day, their legacy cemented in Utah women's basketball history, and that's awesome.
Yeah, and was it 4 straight 20-plus win seasons,
Yeah.
NCAA tournament appearances? It feels like that's kind of the expectation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we put that expectation there. So, we built it from the ground up, so it's kind of, that's what we set our standard at, and we're not going to lower them. So we want to get to the 5th straight NCAA tournament. We want to win 20-plus games. Whether that happens or not, we've got control over that, and we've just got to get to work. And we always say it's a 1 or a 0, and that's in practice as well. Did we win or did we lose? We want to stack as many 1s as possible and not stack the 0s.
Into getting Lonnie to come back to the U. Was that more her decision making? I mean, how did it come back together?
Well, I think it was both. It was kind of the right time. When I picked up the phone to give her a call, she basically said, Gavin, I've been thinking about Utah. You have no idea. And I'm like, well, let's make it happen then, because we needed somebody to come in who was reliable, knew what we needed to do on both offensive and defensive end, and not skip a beat. Like, we needed her to come in, and I told her, I'm not bringing you back to fill that same role. You left, you evolved, you grew. Now let's make sure it's in a Utah uniform, and you're going to do all those great things and continue your legacy here.
What is the number?
About the standard. You talked about the standard, and the first thing you mentioned was recruiting, how important that is. What has been your message, because you found a lot of success in the last few months on the recruiting trail?
Yeah, I think it's a great time to be a women's basketball player with revenue sharing and NIL opportunities for them. So we try to keep the main thing, and that is our university, which is a phenomenal university. The city in which we are in, phenomenal city. Our culture is something that we hang our hat on, and it's about surrounding yourself with good people, like-minded in which they're driven, and we want to keep those things the main things. We've always said, when Coach Roberts and I came here back in 2015, we want to set out and continue to do things each year for the first time in program history. I think if you go along the year for the last 10 years, we've done firsts. Every year I can find one or two things that for the first time in the history of women's basketball at Utah, we've been able to accomplish this. So nothing changes. We still want to continue to do that. We do want to play in a Final Four. We dream big, we talk about it, and people can laugh and scoff at us, whatever they want, but that's what drives us. We made it to a Sweet 16. We were a couple free throws from maybe getting to an Elite 8. Well, at that point, it's a 40-minute game. Winner goes to the Final Four. So we got a taste of it that just drives us, and we're hungry, and we want to try to do things for the first time in program's history. And, being year 2 in the Big 12, we haven't won a Big 12 championship either, so we're going to try to hunt that down too.
You talked about first, and you have an opportunity this year to play a couple programs for the first time, including UConn. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to the Utah program?
Yeah, I think, the last time we went to the Mohegan Sun, we played #1 South Carolina. So it was such a great stage, great event put on by the Basketball Hall of Fame, and they invited us back, and instead of one game, we get 2. So it was kind of a no-brainer. We jumped at the opportunity, and the fact that we get to share a floor with the reigning national champions, pretty cool deal. The all-time winningest coach in women's basketball history in Gino Auriemma, pretty cool as well. So, we're just going to take it game by game, but for that game, 40 minutes, let's go. We're going to play hard, and we're going to give it all we got. And then when we play TCU, my guy here, Mark Campbell, how's it going, brother?
Good. Keep going. You're killing it. This is my brother from Hawaii right
That's
here.
it, man. We go way back.
I was gonna say, I think we got a question for the Daily Horn Frog over here.
Super Frog, you hanging with me?
If we could go back to Lonnie a little bit, because you mentioned she's a different player than when she left the first time. Now that she's coming back, you won't ask her to be that same player.
Yeah.
What's kind of the number one way that jumps out to you of how she's changed or how she's improved, how she's done better?
Yeah, I think it's just experience. You go from that 6th man coming off the bench and providing us a spark to going, and now you're a starter, and you have those starter minutes, and you're relied upon to start games off properly and be leaned upon to have some 3-level scoring in her pocket, right? So that's something that she had to go away to do. She left on great terms. Loved the kid. I mean, my sister, my mom, they were her biggest fans when she was at Virginia Tech. So her coming back, it's like you never left. But that experience, it's so huge. And we were loaded at the guard spot last year. So I think in her overall evolution as a basketball player, also just as a young woman, being away from home, it just kind of brings to light the things that you value and what you value most. And she wants to be closer to family. She wants to play a pivotal role on a basketball team for a program, and we're that answer for that. And I'm glad we were able to get her back.
Coach, have you started to see culture and tone setters with the girls as you build year 2?
Oh man, the league's loaded. First of all, the coach.
Yeah, I think it's probably a carryover from last year with Maddie Wilkie. I mean, she is reliable, responsible. All the players go to her for advice, and she sets the standard by working so hard. She puts in extra time, whether it's in the weight room, in the training room, making sure her body is ready to go, or on the basketball floor getting an extra reps. She sets the standard. So it's easy for when you bring in a bunch of new players, you just point to her. Do what Maddie does, and if you don't know how to do it, go ask Maddie. So I think that's a carryover from last year as well. And then on top of that, I think you have some emerging leadership qualities in Lonnie White, being a senior. She knows what it takes, what we want, and what we demand. And then you have Kyra Evans and Reese Ross, who Kyra's been, on the shelf having ankle surgery on both ankles. And so now she's healthy. So now she's getting back to the groove of things, but she's another one who can provide that leadership role. And then, Reese, she's working on that leadership development, but she's just a passionate player that we can feed off of. And she strikes that match and that fire gets going. So we're going to look, all of them will add a little different dimension to each of them.
How have you seen Kyra attack this last season, as she came in last year and unfortunately had that, missed the whole season? How have you just kind of seen her attack this
I think
year?
It was hard for her last year because she had one ankle surgery, so she's scooting around in a boot. Then as soon as she can walk, she has the other ankle surgery and she's back. So it's kind of like, I know it was a hard year for her to get through, but we told her it's going to be a process. We're not going to rush her. So this summer, we just got her back in the groove of things. Now, I think she's starting to remember, I like doing this. So we've had a couple scrimmages where she's gotten a little physical in there, and now she's learning to finish around contact. She can shoot the three. So I'm excited for our fans to really get to see her play, because she's going to be a very impactful player for us.
You've got it.
Evolution of college athletics.
It's good, man. I get to see a lot of familiar faces, so that always helps. Me, I like talking, so I could talk to the wall, so why not in front of cameras, lights, and people? So, all good.
Absolutely love it. I know
That's allowed us to go
are
from
a
1
big
and
family
17
guy,
to
all of that. How's everything off?
Yeah. It's good. I think every coach will tell you behind a good coach is a good spouse, and I have one of the best. Karen was a coach with me. We coached 3 years at the University of Idaho. We met when she was at Sac State and I was Idaho State, so our own coach's version of love and basketball. But she makes sure she gets our kids where they need to get to, all their sporting activities, all their get-togethers with friends. But it's also, because I have that support, I'm very aware and I'm very intentional with when I go home, I'm home. And so making sure that I carve out that time. I even have a Peloton bike in my office now, so I can work out at home and not go home and work out. So kind of crazy. So their time is their time. I want to make sure I respect that, and I'm where my feet are at. And so I pour into them when I'm at home as much as I can.
Since your wife has so much coaching experience, do you guys ever go over X's and O's?
We don't get into the X's and O's, but she will share her opinions and her thoughts.
As she should.
As she should. And I also hear her, whether it's a good or bad call by the official, I do hear her every now and again as she sits behind us. And I'm like, now that we can review things, maybe I should look up there and review.
Speaking of that new component, who's the coach dedicated to on your staff to have that iPad to help coach your demo?
Yeah, we'll have 2 iPads behind us. Joey Trish, our video and analytics coordinator, and then Jenna Johnson, who played with us last year. She's on our staff. So one will be watching offense and one will be watching defense, and we'll rely on that quickly and work in progress, but hopefully we get it correct.
What's it been like having Jenna come back? Obviously, you had Deja come back as an assistant last year, but Jenna, she comes from that era where she played in all 4 of those NCAA tournament teams. How nice is it to have that connection with her to this current group of players?
Amazing. Jenna has been such a great addition to our program on a lot of different fronts, from alumni and connecting with our alumni and bridging the gap. From the past to the present. We had our legacy night in which our current players were handed their jerseys by somebody who wore that number in the past. So that's something we want to continue, but Jenna had a lot to do with getting a lot of those people connected back to our program. And then from a basketball standpoint, she's helping us with, helping me with the offense, making sure that our playbooks online are ready and available to our players. Anything that our players might need some X's and O's going over it on the whiteboard, she's there with them. And then it's just good to get her perspective, because she's just removed from being a player. So there's a lot of things that we're talking about, doing before games, doing on road trips, and it's just a sounding board. Like, would you have liked this? And so it's great having her here. I know it's an internship position, but my job is to find a way to keep her, because she's a rock star, and if this is something she wants to do, she's gonna have a bright future in it.
Coach, you the team went on a little retreat a few weeks ago. How was that? Sort of firepower, team bonding, team building.
Yeah, I love going on those team retreats. It allows us to kind of humanize, especially from coaches, what we do. You know, we're washing the dishes, we're preparing the meals, so are the players. We have a tradition where the seniors cook breakfast, freshmen clean up on our last day there. But it's just a chance for us to connect on things that motivate us, things that, you know, we're all driven people, and it's a chance to also get vulnerable and give our players, our coaching staff, a glimpse into kind of what makes me tick, what makes them tick, what really matters to them, family members. So it was a very cool, rewarding weekend together. And then there's always competition. There's a dance competition that they pour into, and that's always fun. And they never let us down. They bring it each and every year.
Along the same lines, you put together your own staff this year. Made a couple hires, made a couple changes. What are your thoughts on your new coaching staff?
Yeah, I think, you know, Ryan Larson came to us in December. So, you know, thank goodness for him just stepping in when he did. That's hard to leave a program where he was at, where he was the associate head coach, to come join our program. So he had to figure things out on the fly as we went last year. So I'm so thankful for him to being able to go through that pretty effortlessly. And then now we have a summer to really get on the same page. And as a defensive coordinator, he's filling that void. And Morgan Bailey is going to be the defensive manager with him. So they're going to be very instrumental in coming together and getting game plans ready. And then hiring Jace Henderson from Nebraska, she's been amazing. From day one, you could tell the energy and the enthusiasm that she brings and how she approaches life in general. It's contagious, and I love having that a part of our program, along with Jenna Johnson. And then, you know, Jordan Sullivan, our McIntyre now, Jordan McIntyre, our recruiting coordinator. You know, we've had programs that have come in and tried to take her away, but her staying and staying with the Utah family has meant so much, and it shows in our recruiting. Our recruiting has continued to get better and better, and just we're really excited about our crew. We connect really well. It's fun. It's fun to have people you work with and alongside that you're friends with, and so showing up to work every day. I consider myself a lucky man, because I get to go and see my friends at work every single day. So it's really cool.
How well do you know Elaine Elliott, and what does it mean to recognize her this season?
Coach Elliott, I keep telling her the reason I know about the University of Utah is because of her. We've connected over the years, and she's been somebody that has always been there. When I got the job, I gave her a call and just said, hey, Coach, I'm going to work my tail off not to let you down. But she's somebody that is going to be around at our practices a lot more. She's going to be doing color analysis for our TV games. And then it was so cool to finally give her flowers and the recognition with that banner unveiling in the Huntsman Center. It's so cool, and we can't wait to get all the details for that night and get all her former players hopefully back, because what she accomplished at Utah, man, I mean, she's the GOAT. And so we love having her around our program, and anything I can learn from her, I'm going to ask. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Cool. Thanks.